Thank you, Commissioner Cohen. The next committee item is the Capital Planning, Execution, and Asset Management with Derek Utter. Derek we had a presentation earlier this morning with the Capital Planning and Asset Committee. That we met in executive session to discuss matters with dealing with ongoing negotiations and contracts and proposals. At this point, before we hear from Derek, I'd ask the secretary to cite the composition of the committee and if there's any recusals.
Committee on Capital Planning, Execution, and Asset Management is composed of Vice Chairman Linford, the committee chair, Chairman O'Toole, the committee vice chair, and Commissioners LaBarbera, Martinotti, and Rosado. All committee members, with the exception of Vice Chairman Linford, are participating in today's meeting. In addition to the committee members, Commissioners Cohen, Eve, Horowitz, Cabe, Menendez, and Richardson are also present. There are no requests for action and therefore no recusals.
Thank you, Jim. I call on our Chief Development Officer, Derek Utter, to present the capital performance results for the first 9 months of 2022. Derek?
Great. Thank you, Chairman, and good afternoon, Commissioners. I just want to start with spending year to date through the first 3 quarters, first 9 months of the year. So, as you recall, our full year budget is $2.8 billion to spend on capital this year. That's about $800 million below the pre-COVID levels that we were spending. And we took that haircut because we needed to manage our capital spending carefully in light of the reduction of revenues. What this chart shows you is the spending versus plan. So in the first 9 months of the year, we spent at 91% of our expected spending, which was about $1.6 billion. That 1.6 equates to about 1.6 that was spent in the first 9 months of last year as well. In terms of percentages, you see we've been frequently in the mid to high 80s of spending, with 1 year in 2020 where we spent much below that, and that's in large part because we pulled back the reins on our spending once COVID hit, and we spent on a managed basis less than we had budgeted at the beginning of the year pre-COVID. If you look at our on-time results, recall that we measured 2 key dates when we end the construction phase, so the planning for a project, which can include an environmental review, it can include engineering work and a procurement, and once we award a contract, we measure our performance against that date that we wanted to award a contract. The second date is the end of construction. So once a project goes into construction, we have a date for construction to end. And then what this chart shows is that we achieved 86% of our milestones in the first 9 months. That was 54 of 63 planned dates. That's a little bit below our target of achieving at least 90%, but it's also important to note that although we missed 9 milestones, we achieved another 11 milestones early that we're supposed to achieve after September 30th. This is a pretty favorable comparison to history, but as I said, we want to try to keep this above 90 where we can. I want to talk about a few key projects that we put into beneficial use this quarter, and 2 in particular which I'll highlight off of this list. Now this is a little bit hard to read, but you see several projects in the path area, 2 projects in the tunnels, bridges, and terminals, and 1 at the ports. 2 in particular I'll highlight that we hope customers recognize and see. First is, in the path system, we replaced the exchange place escalators, 3 long escalators. That project was completed in August, and this is the last phase of a much larger program to improve vertical circulation in our path stations. There were 6 elevators and 7 escalators at Exchange Place and Newport. The second project I want to mention will also improve customer experience, and that is the activation of the all-electronic tolling system of the George Washington Bridge. So on July 10th, the GWB successfully activated this new system. This is the 5th out of our 6 cross-Hudson crossings. The only one remaining is the Lincoln Tunnel. This new tolling equipment is mounted on massive steel gantries spanning the roadways on the New Jersey side on the approaches to both the lower and the upper levels of the bridge, and this allows people to not have to stop and pay cash. They can continue straight through, and it certainly improves the flow of traffic. The Lincoln Tunnel is not far behind, though. You'll see another project on this list. The gantry fabrication and installation of the Lincoln Tunnel was completed as well, and so what's left is to put it into service, and we expect that to happen by the end of the year. So that concludes my report today, and I'd be happy to take any questions.
Any questions from the commissioners? All right, Derek, thank you very much. Okay, that's approved. All right, moving ahead, as the Vice Chair of the Committee on Capital Planning, Execution, and Asset Management, will now report on 3 items under the committee's purview. The first dealing with a $5 million for planning work to develop a project for rehabilitation on runway 4L 22R at Newark Liberty International. Prior to making a motion, I ask if there's any recusals.
There are none.
Any questions from the commissioners? Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Chairman O'Toole,
Yes.
Commissioner Eve,
Yes.
Commissioner Horwitz,
Yes.
Commissioner LaBarbera,
Yes.
Commissioner Martinotti,
Yes.
Commissioner McCabe,
Yes.
Commissioner Menendez, Commissioner Richardson,
Yes.
Commissioner Rosado.
Yes.
Commissioner Cohen left a yes, and he'll be back momentarily, but he has a yes in writing to me. Votes are in order. This is approved. Next item would authorize $1.9 million for the second phase of a planning effort to develop a project to construct a southbound connector from the Express Rail Elizabeth facility to Conrail's Garden State secondary line. It also authorizes an agreement with the Millennial Marine Rail LLC, a joint venture of MAR Terminal and APM Terminals, under which this entity would cover a portion of the cost of that planning work. Prior to making a motion, I ask the corporate secretary if there's any recusals.
Commissioner Menendez is recused.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Motion, please.
So moved.
Second, Gary's a second. Roll call, please.
Chairman O'Toole,
Yes.
Commissioner Eve,
Yes.
Commissioner Horwitz,
Yes.
Commissioner LaBarbera,
Yes.
Commissioner Martinotti,
Yes.
Commissioner McCabe,
Yes.
Commissioner Richardson,
Yes.
Commissioner Rosado.
Yes.
Commissioner Cohen left a yes in writing. He'll be back shortly. Motion carries. Last item authorizes an increase of $4.5 million for planning to develop a project to rehabilitate the water distribution system and associated infrastructure at the Elizabeth Port Authority Marine Terminal. Prior to making a motion, ask if there's any recusals.
There are no recusals.
Any comments or questions from the commissioners? Motion, please.
So
Second.
moved.
Second, Gary, thank you. Corporate Secretary asks for a roll call.
Chairman O'Toole,
Yes.
Commissioner Cohen,
Yes.
Commissioner
He
Eve,
said he'd be back.
Commissioner Horwitz,
Yes.
Commissioner LaBarbera,
Yes.
Commissioner Martinotti,
Yes.
Commissioner McCabe,
Yes.
Commissioner Menendez, Commissioner Richardson,
Yes.
Commissioner Rosado.
Yes.
All votes are in order. The item's been approved. Any other further business? Move to adjourn, please.
So
Have a
moved.
second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those in favor? Meeting's now adjourned. We'll see everybody November 15th and 17th.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.